How big is UberEats versus DoorDash? The delivery wars are heating up, with countless players in the food delivery business, from Grubhub and Postmates to sole restaurants like Domino's Pizza. There's been contention for the crown, but only two have remained as top contenders over the past year: UberEats and DoorDash. These two giants are competing at the top of the food delivery service market, and they don't seem to be letting up. DoorDash and UberEats are currently the biggest food delivery services in the United States. The demand for their service skyrocketed during COVID and has continued to thrive ever since. These two companies have had the most number of people patronizing their service. What made them stand out, and how do they compare? On the surface, they both have similar features. For instance, both apps offer on-demand service that's accessible via your smartphone or desktop computer, and they show an estimated delivery time and have a simple ordering process. With these similar features, what truly differentiates UberEats from DoorDash? Stay tuned as we tell you who's currently winning the restaurant food delivery war, who has made $8.3 billion in revenue last year, and who has the most orders between these rivals. Remember, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to get updated whenever there's a new video on the channel. For those who aren't aware, UberEats is a subsidiary of Uber, launched in 2014, and is solely dedicated to food delivery. It began operations a year after its counterpart DoorDash launched their delivery service in 2013. Much like UberEats, DoorDash allows you to order food from local restaurants and have it delivered to your door. They have a wide selection of restaurants, so there's always a menu that meets your fancy. UberEats is available in over 6,000 cities worldwide and offers meal delivery from over 900,000 restaurants. In other words, it's a pretty big player in the food delivery space. Likewise, DoorDash's food delivery services span in more than 7,000 cities across the United States, Canada, Japan, and Australia. DoorDash has 3,900 partnered restaurants and grocery markets on its platform. Origin story: humble beginnings. There was a time when people were not really big on food delivery services. At the time of inception, DoorDash's 4 founders ran the entire operation as a startup. This included building the app, receiving orders, and delivering them. In the first 4 years of operation, DoorDash expanded to 70 restaurants in the Bay Area and received $2.4 million in funding. It grew at a rate of 20% every year, according to Y Combinator. Soon after, DoorDash built an artificial intelligence system capable of perfecting delivery by taking into account every variant of the delivery process and using the data to better estimate delivery time and reduce errors. The AI system, known as Deep Red, uses machine learning and optimization models to recommend restaurants to its users and assigns the most capable rider to the delivery. While it has not yet perfected delivery, DoorDash has become one of the market leaders in the US market. In 2020, DoorDash was responsible for 45% of all food delivery orders, holding a double-digit advantage over every other food delivery service. DoorDash made this leap to first position by aggressively expanding into markets, sometimes controversially adding restaurants onto the platform before even contacting them. Another strategy they implemented was to acquire kitchens located in areas with lower expenses and are delivery only, hence reducing the operating cost. An instance of this was the acquisition of Square's caviar food delivery service for $410 million back in 2019, and the launch of its shared kitchen that same year. Since then, DoorDash has opened multiple shared kitchen facilities at various locations, including New York, San Jose, and California. If you're not familiar with the concept of shared kitchens, simply put, they're commercial food preparation facilities that are designed to provide up-and-coming food retailers with an opportunity to grow their business by providing them with kitchen space and access to professional equipment. In this case, DoorDash assists restaurants in growing their geographic footprints and to reach more customers in order to grow their revenues. In order to give restaurants even more adaptable and affordable methods to grow while earning a share of their sales made, DoorDash takes on more of the day-to-day tasks. For every partnership, DoorDash will bring on cooks itself or partner with culinary operators like A La Couch to find staff to prepare meals on its behalf. DoorDash also hires managers at each facility and front-of-house staff to manage delivery and pick up orders. DoorDash has come a long way from its early days. In 2021, DoorDash went public on the New York Stock Exchange with a valuation of $72 billion. Unlike DoorDash's slow climb to the top, Uber Eats came into the food delivery service with considerable leverage, being a subsidiary of Uber. It didn't take long for Uber Eats to enter the market, given the success of its parent company Uber. In 2014, Uber's then CEO Travis Kalanick launched a number of experimental services in an effort to expand the company's ride-sharing business. One such business was Uber Eats. Originally, Uber Eats delivered a fixed-price menu in a small Santa Monica, California test area. The service soon expanded to include the Beverly Hills and West Hollywood areas, and more local restaurants were invited to join. Within a year, Uber Eats was available in Barcelona, New York, and Chicago. Talk about fast growth. Uber has been in fierce competition with DoorDash, which surpassed Grubhub to become the most popular food delivery service in 2019. That same year, Uber attempted to merge with DoorDash, but the two rivals couldn't come to an agreement. This led to Uber's acquisition of Postmates for $2.65 billion. In 2020, Uber Eats became essential to sustaining the business, as Uber's ride-hailing platform saw a 50% decline in revenue. Uber Eats has generated more revenue than its mobility segment since the second quarter of 2020. When COVID happened, companies like DoorDash and Uber Eats helped many restaurants stay in business during lockdowns, allowing diners to stay in and still order out. Which is bigger, Uber Eats or DoorDash? The battle to be the best food delivery service is still very much on, as both DoorDash and Uber Eats look to prove they can remain strong as COVID-19 precautions wane. Both delivery platforms have kept the business alive through the pandemic. Here's a review of the revenue, profit, and number of orders, and other factors from DoorDash and Uber Eats over the past years to determine which business reigns supreme. DoorDash and Uber Eats have seen the most growth in orders and deliveries over the past 2 years. In 2021, DoorDash reported a total of 369 million orders, prompting its shares to soar. Despite this enormous expansion, Uber Eats still seems to receive a lot more orders. At the end of 2021, it was estimated that the company had received 515 million orders. The average sales per customer has also been on the rise. In the first quarter of 2022, DoorDash's customers spent the most, with an average of $323 per customer, while Uber Eats' quarterly customer spend was the second highest, with an average of $246. Consumers may be paying even more for meal delivery services in the near future, as the price of food and gas continues to rise. Food delivery companies have responded to these inflationary pressures in different ways. For example, Uber Eats implemented a fuel surcharge for customers, which started in March of 2022, while DoorDash launched gas rewards programs for drivers to aid with rising fuel costs. Revenue. Revenue for both delivery businesses has grown over the past year. Uber Eats' revenue reached $8.3 billion in 2021. $2.4 billion of that revenue was made in the fourth quarter alone, after steadily climbing from $1.74 billion in the first quarter. DoorDash's revenue has increased as well, but it took in less money than Uber Eats. The company revenue increased by 69% in 2021 to $4.88 billion. They made $1.3 billion in the fourth quarter, just a bit higher than the $1.1 billion made from the first quarter. Profit. After accounting for all expenses, debts, additional income streams, and operating costs, companies tend to make a huge profit or find themselves at a loss. Uber Eats made its first ever profit at $25 million in 2021 after being in operation for 7 years. This is a huge step up from where it began with a loss of $200 million. DoorDash turned a profit for all 4 quarters last year. The company made $289 million in profit and also recorded its highest ever adjusted EBITDA profit of $113 million in the second quarter. Rankings and other factors. DoorDash has consistently remained number 1 on the App Store among all food delivery apps, while Uber Eats has jumped between 4th and 2nd place over the past few months. One advantage Uber Eats has over DoorDash on the app is that Uber Eats supports far more restaurants than DoorDash. The business supports at least 900,000 restaurants, while DoorDash supported only over 390,000 as of late 2020. Uber Eats is an undeniably larger business in terms of sheer number of merchants it supports and the amount of revenue it takes in. But DoorDash has remained the most well-liked food delivery business on the App Store and has incrementally brought up its revenue and customer base over the years. In fact, one could argue that DoorDash's growth has been more impressive than Uber Eats. The company raised $300 million in funding last year, while Uber has only ever raised $67 million in funding. And when it comes to profitability, DoorDash is clearly doing better than its larger rival as well. We've come to the end of the video. If you found this content interesting, tell us what you think in the comment section down below and support us by hitting the like button. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you're notified when we next upload valuable content like this. Thank you for your time, and until next time, stay inspired.